Hi, my name's Carlos. I'm a Birmingham-based bespoke tailor, and today I'll be showing you how I shorten a pair of sleeves. For this task we'll need a trusty tape measure, piece of chalk, my scissors, my industrial sewing machine. Fear not, you can do it on a domestic machine at home, but this is my weapon of choice. So first of all, we have our sleeve. So we need to unpick the sleeve lining. So once we've unpicked the sleeve lining, which I have done on the other sleeve already, we will decide how much we need to shorten the sleeves. If you was to lengthen the sleeves, it will be sort of the opposite to this. We will take it out, and from the existing seam, the folded edge, for shortening, we'd mark above the line. For lengthening, we'd mark it below the folded line. So since today I'm shortening these sleeves, get my chalk and my tape measure, I'm shortening it 1 inch. So we're marking 1 inch away from the folded line, all the way around. So now we have our folded line. The next step, I always like to leave a 2 inch hem allowance. So we'll mark 2 inches down from your chalk line. And we'll carefully cut that away, like so. Next step, we want to make a nice mitered corner. So we fold the hem allowance up onto your chalk line, like so. Then we fold the corner in to make a triangle, as you can see it there. We get our chalk, we draw a line on the folded edge of the triangle and on your hem. We then turn it around. So we start from the inside. So we fold it back on itself on the hem folded line, and we need to find this spot here, the corner point, and that's where we'll put our needle in. So we get that underneath the machine. We need to make sure our lines here and here are joined up to make our mitre. Then we'll stitch our line. So as always, back stitch to start our row of stitching. And to finish. So as you can see there, we have our chalk lines. And we put our finger into the point of the triangle and turn it through. So you end up with a nice, tight, right angle. So then we want to turn up the other side of the sleeve cuff. So we'll mark that with the chalk on the same length as the first piece here. We have our marker, turn it back on itself. And we have an existing fold line, we just follow that stitching line. So back stitch to start. And then we turn it through. And hopefully we find we should be level. And that's the length of our sleeve. So we'll just put a pin in here to hold this together, like so. And there's basically the length of our sleeve. So we do another little tacking stitch inside. So where you see the two sides of the hem allowance, we hold that like this, and we just give that a little stitch. Just 1 or 2 stitches should hold it for the lining. So we have our inside of the arm seam. We just need to stitch that, the bottom of it, to reinforce the stitching so it doesn't become loose on us. Just a couple stitches backwards and forwards. And here we basically have our length in place. And we want to get the lining to shorten the lining too. So what we do, we pull the lining down at the bottom of the sleeve. Then you just mark the lining here and here the same length as the sleeve. Tuck your sleeve out of the way, because we don't want to go cutting our jacket sleeves. And we just cut that away. Once again, always remember to reinforce your rows of stitching where you've just cut off. Our next step is to join the lining to the jacket. So we turn our sleeve through and whole thing through, and we'll get inside we'll open up a sleeve lining. Be very careful not to rip your lining, because nobody likes ripped clothing. So we then hold our underarm seam of the lining and the jacket together. We'll put our hand inside the hole we just made in the lining. See? We'll get them face to face, like this. We'll just pull that through. So now we have our jacket sleeves inside out. The front of the jacket, front of the lining. We can put a pin just to hold these seams together, because this is not where we start sewing. We then just follow the seam around, because we want to start at our mitered corner. So we follow that around. So we have our mitered corner where we stitched earlier. We'll start our row of stitching there. So we'll just put a pin into the seams so we don't lose where we are going to be stitching, because this is not the point where we start our row of stitching. So we just trace it around the seam so we find our mitered corner, what we've already stitched. So as always, a back stitch to start our row of stitching, and the stitch around our lining. When we get to the other end of the stitching, we'll find a part where a few little stitches where we started our row, and we just want to stitch into that, but not over the row of stitching. The back stitch, and there we have it. Take our pin out, get rid of that. We'll turn our sleeve back through to the right side. Turn our sleeve through. And here we have our sleeve shortened. Just wait for a nice press and some nice buttons to be sewn back onto it.